Good morning. I want to call you guys Joyful Joints Nation. Good morning. I'd love for you guys to say hello. If you're subscribers, you get to talk in the chat, but it is time for our second session of this fourth month. We are in our YouTube live version of Joyful Joints. Super happy to be here with you. And this month is all about dancing through life. Now, I'm not one who loves to jump on trends and do the popular thing. And if you have seen the movie Wicked or the stage show Wicked, you know that's kind of where the character Elphaba likes to live, not so into the popular thing. However, it's also good to have popularity if you have something great to share. So we're going to talk just a little bit about this concept of dancing through life. And I'm going to do something because I see on the video, it's going to drive me nuts. I don't really need for you to be looking at that chord. So welcome back. All right. So dancing through life, there's a scene in the movie of if I tell you the answer, then there's actually a prize for anybody who knows what movie the line dancing through life. If you email us at paula@pranavar.org and you are the first one to tell us what the movie is that this song came from, where that line came from, then you will win. Actually, we're going to give away a complimentary Pranavar light session. And you don't have to be here. You don't have to be present. You just will win that, and we will let you know when your session will take place. So something to look forward to. Dancing through life. Dancing through life. Here we are at Joyful Joints, and we are getting our bodies in order so they can dance more. And what we're trying to do here is have the inner part of us feel so happy and joyful and as if it is dancing, so that that expression can come out into our movement, right? So having good posture and being able to move efficiently and effectively through the world is a form of dancing. It's a form of using our body to move and to express ourselves. So that comes out in the newsletter. You can also read it in the caption for this class if you'd like to understand more. But the part I'd like to bring up is when we're dancing through life, the line in the song is, woes are fleeting, blows are glancing. Woes are fleeting, blows are glancing. In other words, the sad, the difficult times, which there are plenty of for us to tap into, they're fleeting. They don't last as long. We don't get stuck in them. We move through them. It's a part of life that we can accept and we can enjoy and we can dance through it. It doesn't mean we don't feel or we don't care. It simply means we choose not to get stuck because we've got more to do in this lifetime than to just sit there. And then the blows are glancing. The times when we get knocked about, instead of like hitting us and stopping us for a period of time, those blows glance off of us. We may have like a surface wound that comes from them, but we're not going to allow. If we can keep dancing, then we're able to move and flow with those blows that are coming, if that makes sense. So hopefully that's a good enough inspiration for you today to join us in our dancing part 2. Last week we did standing dancing. Today we're going to do seated dancing. And last week we also kind of put everything together at the end of class. Today we're going to chunk it up. We're going to do one little exercise at a time and put them together. This would be more like, for those of you who've ever had a ballet class, when we go to the bar, we do little vignettes, we do little portions, we learn what we're going to do, and then we put it together with a music and a rhythm. So that's more what we're going to do today from our seated position. The last thing I'd like to call out, I've got my What If book sitting here. This is by a beautiful human named Anne Smith, who has been dancing through her entire life and will be celebrating her 100th birthday this weekend, along with a shout out to my own mother, who will be celebrating her 80th birthday. So we've got some big birthdays coming up, and we have people who just simply love to dance, and they're dancing through life in their very own way. So won't you join me in that celebration? let's begin with our eyes. So we're going to start the basic movements. We're going to turn our eyes to the right and to the left. So start out slowly to the right, to the left. That's the motion we're going to do first. All right. So side to side. Next motion, look up and then look down and look up. And another shout out to those of you who've made it here live with us in class. Yeah. We're so happy that you're able to take this time off. But if you're not and you're joining us at a different time, that's amazing. It's something that is just so lovely to be able to have this format to capture, to share. Next, diagonals. Make your eyes move diagonally. Up to one side, down to the other. Up to one side, down to the other. So all we're doing right now is just figuring out what we're going to ask to do. Then we're going to put it into more of a rhythm. Other diagonal. Up to the other side, down to the other. Moving our eyes on a diagonal line, up on one side, and down on the other. This is why we're seated today. If you think about loading, maybe you'll come back to this class and do it again while standing on the mud. Remember that class about loading? That was last month. Okay, so those are the 4 directions that we're going to move our eyes. And now we're going to do it with this rhythm. I'd like you to go side. So I'm going to show you the example on the side to side. We're going to go to the side, stop in the middle, to the side, stop in the middle. Do that twice. Middle, side, middle. Then we go back and forth from side to side for 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then we move to the next direction. Okay? So side, middle, side, middle, side, middle, side, middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we do it in the up and down direction. Then we do it in the diagonal direction one way and the other way. And that becomes our eye dance for today, which we will close out with some circles at the end to try to fit all those points together and integrate it. Are you ready? This is the eye dance portion, and welcome everybody. Here we go. To the right, middle, left, middle, to the right, middle, left. Now side to side, right and left, and right and left, and 5 and 6 and 7. Now up and down, up, middle, down, middle, up, middle, down, middle. Now up and down, and up and down, and 5 and 6. And now diagonal. 1, middle, down, middle, up, middle, down. Now back and forth, up and down, and up and down, and 5 and 6. Now the other diagonal. Up and middle and down and middle. Up and middle and down. And now go up and down and up and down and up and down. And 7. Now circle it up, around, up, around, up, around, up, and reverse it, up, around, up, around, up, around, and up, around, and woo-wee! Wow, that was something. How many of you have ever actually danced with your eyes? It's actually part of the Bollywood tradition, and Indian culture dancing is the eyes are all part of that. It's really fascinating to me. So you may or may not have been able to keep up with the rhythm or the speed, so you could slow it down, however you want to play. But let's see what we can do as we practice the dance of the eyes. Next, we're going to move to our head. It's time for the head dance. So we're going to take our head and we're going to do something similar. Turn it to the right, and then it'll stop at the middle. Turn to the left, and then to the middle. So that's our first direction, is from side to side. So just kind of feel what that's like. If you recall from, I think it might have been our first month of classes, we think about keeping our throat drawn back into the body so that our head is turning from the point of view of the back. Okay, the engine to turn our head is the back of the neck, not having our chin throwing out front and doing this. That simply just crunches the back. The second motion will go up, then to the middle, then down, and then to the middle, up, yep, so up and down is the second direction that we'll do for our head dance. Excellent. And then the third part of the head dance, we'll do side tilting, okay? So when we do side tilting, again, keep your throat back, but I like to think of this instead of trying to bring my ear down to my shoulder, because sometimes then I pinch, I want to think about lifting an ear up to the ceiling. So these are head tilts from side to side, lifting an ear, keeping the throat back, okay? And then the last thing we'll do with our head is kind of a, oh, you know what? This is kind of a new motion for us, going forward and around, right? So we've done chicken neck before, forward and backward, but what if we went front and then side and then back and then side? Woo, that's kind of fun. And then we'll reverse those circles. Awesome. Make sure you're relaxing in your shoulders and your collarbones to do that. I've noticed in the video that my upper body is wanting to move. It'd be nice to keep that perfectly still, but we'll do our best. Okay? So dance number 2, we did the eye dance. Now let's do the head dance with that same type of motion where we went side, middle, 2 times, and then back and forth for 8 counts. Okay? Here we go. Turning our head. 5, 6, 7, and begin. Turn side, middle, side, middle, side, middle, side, back and forth to the side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now up and down, up, middle, down, middle, up, middle, down, and now up and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and tilting, side, middle, side, middle, side, middle, side, middle. Now tilt, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, into our circles, front and around, front and around, front and around, and front and around. I think I would love to see a group of people doing this. Reverse. Front and around, front and around, and front and around. Good job, and landing that head back on the center. All right, jiggle it out, shake it out. You'll notice I've said nothing about assess and reassess or check and recheck, because what I'd like you to do is read the caption. Most of you are going to get, if you're subscribers, you can get our newsletter where we kind of talk a bit about our dancing from the inside and how that relates to our dance on the outside. So I'm not going to talk about that too much because I want to do more movement. All right, next we're going to do, let's go to our shoulders, the shoulder dance, the shoulder and arm dance. And I'd like for you to take your collarbones and shoulders up and down. So the motion is up and down. There you go. Up and down and up and down. Now, another way your shoulders can move is forward and backward. Forward and backward. And that's taking our collarbones. You'll recall this from another time. Collarbones forward and backward. Then we can take those in alternating. Up, 2, 3. Okay? So it's one shoulder at a time going up and down. And then we can also do one shoulder at a time going forward and back. And then we can take those into circles, circles, and then reversing those circles. Okay? So that'll be part 1 of this dance. This one's going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to scoot up to the front of my chair so that my back shoulder blades are a little more free and they're not restricted by the back of my chair. We'll go into arm circles. So reaching your arms out, closing our fingers. This is my thumbs up position, but my thumbs are pointed forward. Okay? And in this one, I want you to try to squeeze your shoulder blades together in the back. Yes. And then begin making forward circles with your arms. Now, these will go, maybe we'll start out slow, and then we'll go fast. Okay, with different counts of 8. And then we reverse it. Our thumbs point backward and we start doing backward circles, at first slowly, and then I want us to speed that up. Yes, fantastic. And holding our body really still, that's another reason I wanted to sit up off the back of the chair, because there's a lot of benefits that are baked into this one little arm circling dancing exercises. And then we'll bring our thumbs, our knuckles to our eyes, and then bring them in. Now, I don't know if these shoulder dance moves are going to be the best ones for the dance floor at your next birthday party. I think we're going to have some dancing at these birthday parties, maybe the next wedding you attend. Sorry. So I'm not giving you a whole lot of good like social dancing choreography, but the next one I might work out for you. And it goes like this. Do you remember that assess where we tried to touch our fingertips behind us? So from the outward position, let's try to bend one arm under us and one on the top, and then push them back out to the side. And then switch. Move my chair a little bit. Switch and release. So it's kind of this touch and release. Then try to touch and release. And we just want that to be as smooth as possible right now. How can we do that as smoothly as possible? Now, that's actually another reference from this movie. I think I said the word out loud, so you guys have an advantage. In the movie, and we'll just talk about it, the character of Elphaba kind of goes about the world differently, right? She's very different. And one of the scenes that I'd like you to watch is the dance scene, dancing at the Ozdus ballroom. And that this is actually one of the moves, which is in her dance, right? Everybody else is dancing in a certain way. She walks in and everything slows down and it's much more intentional, which is kind of what we're doing here in Joyful Choice, isn't it? Being more intentional with our dance. All right, so let's see if we can put the shoulders into the arm circles together in a short little dancey vignette, shall we? The tempo this time, so instead of stopping in the middle, this is going to be, I want a slow into a fast, twice as fast, 5, 6, 7, 8, then slow, okay? And we'll be changing exercises as we go through. So we'll begin with the shoulders going up and down. Here we go. Up and down. This is a slow one. And 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Now faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Now let's go into the alternating. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, faster, 5 and 6 and 7. Good job. Now forward, backward, forward, backward. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. Now alternate. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, it was supposed to be fast. 1. So even my choreography brain is off. Forward and backward quickly. 5 and 6 and 7. Then into our alternating. 1 and switch. And switch and switch. That's one of the cool things about dancing. When you mess up, you just like, don't let anybody see it. I do have to do a shout out for my daughter. She was a pro at dancing. And if something didn't go quite right, she would just flow right out of it. And nobody ever knew that there was any issues. And I mean, that was when she was like a 2-year-old. It was kind of lovely. Next. Oh, I had to pause my dance. I had to push pause on the music and just kind of do a little beat here to get together. All right, what else did we do with our shoulders? We did circles. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now reverse it. Forward and 2 and 3 and 4. Now fast. 1, 2. That's hard to do fast. 5, 6, 7. Arms out and circle. And 2 and 3 and 4. Twice as fast. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now even faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn your thumbs back. Go real slow. And 2, and 3, and 4. Twice as fast. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now super fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Good. Touch your hands. 1, and 2, tap, and 3, tap, tap, and 4. Now speed it up. 1, and 2. Really open. 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. Stretch your arms. Here's our fancy one. And out. And switch. And out. Do it slow again. 1, and out. And 1, and out. Now what if we go faster? 1, and out. And 2, and out. And 3, and out. And 4. Anybody get that? 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then like, oh, totally relax and shake that out. Very good. Shake out those arms. Beautiful. How many feel some warmth all around that shoulder area? Maybe even into our chest, maybe even into the back of our chest. Maybe our neck is saying something about that. So we want to be also mindful that this is joyful joints. And when we start moving fast, if things start to tense up and we're like fighting and our effort level goes above a 3 out of 10, right? We want to stay still at that 3 out of 10 mode, even as we're trying to speed up and do these rhythms and complex things. Try to soften into a relaxation, maybe slow down. And then notice your progress from week to week or from day to day as you practice this. Maybe you come back to this one more often and you notice like, wow, that was very uncomfortable and confusing for me the first time. The second time was easier. And by the third or fourth time, I was able to keep up with the speed of the motion. Okay, those are some things to look forward to. All right, remaining not leaning back against the chair if possible. The last part of our dance, our seated dance, is going to be the rib cage. And this one can be confusing because most people are not used to moving their ribs in some of the ways that we're going to ask. So we're going to do our ribs. Number 1, they're going to slide off to the right. So I'm placing my hands at the top of my thighs just so you can see that my pelvis here is staying still. My rib cage. Everybody touch the sides of your ribs so you know where they are. And what we're trying to do, it's like, imagine your pelvic bowl is a can and then your rib cage is another can. And we're going to try to actually slide our rib cage like this from side to side, not tip it over, but just slide it. So put your hands here and try to slide your ribs to the right and then to the left. Now, this can feel not so lovely on our lower backs if you are someone who carries a lot of tension. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you can do it without the back, I want you to think about bringing your lower ribs backwards so you're not planting your rib cage out over your lap. And do you see how that makes my back tip forward? And if I want to sit up taller, then I'm really arching my back. I want to sit here. Sit back into my sits bones. It brings my navel up and in. Now I've got some muscles in the front and it's a much happier side to side motion. Now, if that still doesn't help, then go ahead. Sit back against your chair and just see if you can feel sliding your rib cage on the chair from side to side. That's another option for modification. Okay? So that's side to side, and then we have front and back. So can I leave my lower back on the chair, but send my ribs forward? And then can I really push with some effort my lower ribs into the chair? So now I'm gliding my rib cage forward and backward. If I'm not on the chair, it looks like this. Forward and backward. Now I'm trying not to move my pelvis. I don't want to just collapse my spine all these directions. This is pretty subtle. It's pretty challenging. You may have no idea what I'm asking you to do, but that's lovely. Because just by thinking about it and considering what that is, you are making a brain connection to your body that wasn't there before. And that, my friends, is allowing us to dance better on the inside. There you go. This body becomes our partner, and we want to dance in harmony with our partner, especially, the ballroom. Ballroom dancing is all about connecting with another person, making yourself understand what you're doing as an individual, and then harmoniously working with another person. So you can think about that. Every time we dance, we are trying to make this relationship with our own self. So that works out well. Now, the last thing we'll do is we'll connect those dots, because I know this rib cage thing is challenging. So connecting the dots means my ribs travel forward and then to one side and then to the back and then to the other side. And I saw some of you may have shut down at this point. You're like, dude, I have no idea what's going on here. That's okay. Just play around with it. There's nobody in your house that's going to be laughing at you. You can do this like hiding away in your own private room. Reverse the circles. There you go. Excellent. Before we bring it onto the dance floor, practice getting to know your body. Every single body is capable of doing this. You just might not know it yet. All right, so there we go. And then at the end of our rib cage circles, we're going to put together our final dance. Let's go to the hands, and we'll do some hand circles. In fact, let's make our hands circle to the right, both of them going to the right first, and then to the left, which is maybe a little different than we've done. And then we'll do the finger dance. They'll open and close, and we'll dance across, tapping one finger at a time onto our thumb. Are you ready? Let's see if we can put those elements together with some kind of rhythm. When we do the rib cage, we'll do that stopping in the center, like we did with the eyes and the head, and then doing fast side to side. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Make sure you're sitting back, you're relaxed in your lower back. If you need to give it like a little punch to decide if it's relaxed, go ahead. And begin. To the side, and middle, and side, and middle, and side, and middle, and side. Now back and forth, side, and 3, and 4. Good. 5, and 6, and 7. Front and back. Go front and middle, and back, and middle. Front and middle, and back, and middle, and front and back, and front and back, and 5, and 6, and 7. Into the circles, we go front, around, front, around, front, around. One more, front, around. Now reverse it, go front, around, and front, around, front, around, and front, around. Beautiful. Hands go 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Reverse it. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we flick. And 2, and 3, and 4. And alternating fast. 4, 5, 6, 7. And the finger dance. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How fast can your fingers go? Good. Little finger dance. And stretch. We'll give a big ta-da. At the end, you can take a little chair curtsy if you like, or a little bow. You all have danced amazing today. And I hope that that feels good in your body. Maybe stop for a moment and go, I do feel like that was fun and playful. Or I feel a little bit less uptight. It's a great word. I feel a little bit less uptight after dancing with myself. So I encourage you, turn on some music next time you pull this class up and try it. Add it to first class, and now you've got a full body dance. And that's what we'll be doing next week, is kind of putting things together in a full body, joyful joint style dance. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, remember, there's a contest this week. Dancing through life, the words are: woes are fleeting, blows are glancing. What movie and stage show is that from? And if you didn't hear me say it earlier, well, I'm sorry, but email us, and if you're the first one to email us with the right answer, we'll get back to you, and you win a free front of our light session. All right, you guys rock, and we'll see you next week. Take care.